The man died on the battlefield where he was combating the demons. Who knew that he unexpectedly gained rebirth? It turned out that after the death of this greatest and strongest human warrior in the previous life, he had crossed over to a thin body 60 years later and was reborn as a new warrior. What surprised the man was that this body was actually so bad that the scores of the first 2 rounds of the assessment for new warrior were all at the bottom. In the 3rd round of practical drill, the man was about to end the present finless demon, but an unexpected situation occurred. A one-fin demon that should not have appeared in the new bee hunting ground suddenly popped up and took away the man and his 3 teammates. In the previous episode, An deliberately allows the one-fin demon to stab his body on purpose, creating an opportunity to break through the weakness and remove one of the one-fin demon's arms. But An did not expect that in this half-century, demons have actually evolved. This red core demon is actually of the wood system and has the healing ability that originally only the green core demon has. After recovering, the demon summons root tree branches and stabs the heavily injured An and brings him to its presence. An loses consciousness again and becomes the lamb to be slaughtered in the hands of the demon. The one-fin demon opens its blood basin-like mouth and is ready to eat An to evolve. Who knows, a majestic voice and a powerful aura actually emanate from Aang's body, and his body begins to change. The white-haired 8-fin demon sleeping inside Aang appears with the last bit of spirit to save Aang. The white-haired demon kills the one-fin demon with his own hands and turns it into nourishment to absorb into the body, laying the first step for Aang to awaken the memory of the fin. When opening his eyes again, Aang is already on the hospital bed. 3 teammates appear lively in front of him. Hall looks at Aang sitting on the bed in front of him and asks, "Tell us, what happened in the cave?" The just awakened Aang recognizes the other 2 as the 2 captains who were on the city wall at that time and is confused why they are also here. Captain Jier looks at Aang's confused look and explains, "The 4 of you were brought back by Hallie." "Don't call me Hallie." Hall feels somewhat unnatural to be called that in front of the children, and Jier blinks her eyes in response. "Okay, Hallie." Hallie. The 3 hear this address and instantly turn to stone. "You were found on the ground outside a cave," Captain Joel continues to explain. "At that time, you were all in a coma. Fortunately, that one-fin demon seemed to have disappeared without a trace. Otherwise, it was hard to say whether he could bring you all back safely. The 3 of them have already woken up and all claim to have no memory of the cave. Only you have been in a coma and have also undergone some changes." Jier continues Joel's words, takes a mirror and hands it to An. "Think hard, do you remember anything?" An takes the mirror and is startled when he looks at himself in the mirror. His hair in the front part has unexpectedly turned white. No wonder Todoro said that he was taken away by the demon to get a dip dye. It's so strange. An feels that everything after time traveling is quite incredible. An only remembers that he lost consciousness after being attacked in the cave, and he is not clear about what happened later. Should I tell them about the time traveling? This will be very troublesome. And not to mention whether they will believe it or not. Even I am not clear about the present situation myself. After thinking about it, An decides to act as the present Aang and figure out the present situation first. He looks up and says that he only remembers that he woke up vaguely for a moment, knew that they were taken to the cave, and then fell into a deep sleep again. He is not clear about what happened later, and woke up here. Upon hearing Aang's answer, Hall falls into contemplation. Has he also fallen into a deep sleep? Could it be that I think too much? But what caused those similar bursts splashing blood all over the wall found in the cave? Your name is An, right? Captain Joel sits on the swivel chair and rolls back to Aang's side and says, "With the same name as the greatest warrior. I have seen your various assessment results. The foundation is poor, but you are very calm in the battle with demons." When saying this, Joel looks up and looks at Aang's eyes and says, "Have you fought with demons?" Upon hearing Captain Joel's question, An feels a little guilty and quickly explains, No, I just have always been interested in the battle, and I have collected and analyzed the weaknesses of various demons myself. It seems to be a theoretical school." Jier looks at An appreciatively and says to Hall, "Such a good warrior should be well trained, Allie." When Captain Jier mentions the warrior, An suddenly thinks of something and looks up anxiously and asks, "Ah, right, what about my warrior assessment results?" "The warrior assessment has passed," Todoro excitedly replies. "We are still a team. Please give me more advice in the future." Snow also smiles and touches his head and says, "Because of this accident, it can be regarded as a fate." Captain Hall assigned the 4 of us to a group. Lou remains expressionless as usual. We have already lagged far behind other teams, Lou reminds. Lag far behind other teams. An doesn't understand what Lou means. Hall looks at Aang's puzzled look and explains. The team needs to accumulate points by taking on tasks. You have been in a coma for 3 days, and your team's points are still 0 points. What? I've been in a coma for 3 days. An can't believe this fact. In order to catch up with the progress as soon as possible, the four put on their battle suits and come to gather in front of the town gate. The onlookers can't help but start to discuss. Wow, it's Captain Hall. Those few seem to be new warriors. There seemed to be a batch of new warriors gathered here 3 days ago. They are all so young. Do they just become warriors and have to do tasks? At this time, Hall begins to tell about their next tasks. The 4 of them are divided into a team and under the jurisdiction of Captain Hall. As the responsible captain, Hall is responsible for a total of 9 teams, and each team can obtain different points by taking on tasks of different levels. The higher the points, the higher the ranking on the team points list. Every month, the 2 teams with the highest rankings under the 3 responsible captains, a total of 6 teams, can participate in the team duel, and the first place will receive a reward. And the team with the lowest ranking under each responsible captain will receive punishment, and will be temporarily demoted to the cleaning team to be responsible for the hygiene of the town until a new last place is produced in the second month. This is the rule of the warriors. Only with competition can there be progress. The demons continue to evolve, and the warriors cannot relax. At this time, An finally understands why the town is so clean, and the rules of the warriors now are much more troublesome than before. In the past, after they became warriors, they directly went into battle, and both strength and identity were gained through fighting. Hall continues to say, so, Lou, who has the highest total score in the test, will serve as the team leader of your team. Do you have any objections? Both Snow and Todoro indicate that they have no objections. Only An feels secretly unwilling in his heart. Why not choose me? I am the strongest warrior An who is revered as the king. Really? Resolutely complete the task. Before An speaks, Lou decisively steps out of the line to show her attitude and determination, thinking, I am obviously the team leader. Who else can be chosen besides me? It is already noon. Hall tells them that they can go and see what tasks are on the task board. And by the way, check the points of other teams, and reminds them that the nano wings of the battle suit need to be explored and adapted in actual combat. After explaining all this, Hall shouts a sentence to disband and then turns around and leaves. Let's go and take a look at the task board. We have already lagged behind for 3 days of points. Our team needs to step up, Lou says to the 3 team members as she walks towards the direction of the task board. Wait, Todoro suddenly calls everyone back and says righteously that there is a more important matter before that. Lou becomes nervous due to this sudden stop. Her brain starts to operate quickly. Did I neglect something more important? The deployment of the team members and the arrangement of positions, the preparation of supplies. It's not too late to determine these after confirming the task. Have I made a mistake as the new team leader? Has my perfect halo as the team leader just disappeared like this? Just as Lou is recalling where she might have gone wrong, Todoro takes out the camera and says, we need to take a formal team group photo. Looking at Todoro's eyes shining with little stars, Lou doesn't know what to say at all, but also takes a deep breath inside. Team, collective. Upon hearing Todoro say this, An thinks this is also a good suggestion and says with a smile, good. With a click, a team group photo of 4 people has been taken like this. At this moment, the 3 captains are on the rooftop discussing the things that happened before. Hall narrates the process of finding the 4 children and the scenes he saw, and asks the 2 for their opinions. You said that all the finless demons near the underground hole burst and died, and there were traces of unknown demonic burst blood clots in the underground hole, says Captain Joel, with a click as he lights a cigarette. Do you mean that the 4 children did it? I suspect that the one named Aang is peculiar. Hall expresses his feeling that has been there all along. My nose is very sensitive, and I can always smell an unspeakable, familiar stench on him. You think too much, Ali. As long as the children can come back safely. Jia suddenly pounces over and jumps onto Hall's back from behind, hugging his neck. Their team has good strength. They should be well cultivated, and don't lose to my team. Jia has a good opinion of the abilities of these 4 people, reminding Hall to cultivate them well. Hall gets anxious seeing that Jia doesn't listen at all. I'm serious. Just observe for now, Ali, Joel says slowly after spitting out a puff of smoke. If you notice anything unusual, tell us again. Right, Jier sticks to Hall's back and agrees with Joel's words. On the other side, the 4 members of Lu's team come to the task list in the city center. At this time, all other levels of tasks have been claimed, only leaving the 3 A-level tasks with the highest score, but also the highest difficulty. The A-level task is the highest level task they can access currently, compared with the 6 points of the B-level and the 3 points of the C-level. The 10 points of the A-level task are really tempting, but the B-level and C-level tasks are indeed the most secure and relatively safe, and the A-level tasks often result in casualties. At this moment, Lu and An think simultaneously about the situation in front of them. In that case then, before An finishes speaking, Lu suddenly takes a step forward. With a ripping sound, she tears off 3 task lists. They speak in unison. We'll take them all. After taking the task lists, the 4 run quickly towards the battlefield outside the wall. An presses the red core on his chest with his hand, unfolds the nano wings to adapt. The nano wings can not only boost forward, but also form weapons through decomposition and manipulation. An can't help but exclaim, "Is this the current nano device? It has really become more advanced in 60 years. After adapting to the equipment, the 4 are ready for battle. The target is 2 finless demons. Break them in one breath. According to the plan, spread out. With the issuance of the combat instructions by the team leader Lu, the 4 fix their eyes on the target and run towards the battlefield. According to Lu's plan, there are 3 A-level tasks to be completed, and they cannot get into a protracted battle. They need to end the battle quickly. First, let Snow block their vision. Only see Snow build up strength and insert his leg into the surface rock of the ground. Then lift it up sharply. This lift not only withstands the attack of the demons, the tall and raised rocks bring up the dust and the smoke fills the air, blocking the demonic vision. Then, let An and Todoro simultaneously destroy their mobility. The 2 run at high speed towards their respective target demons. At the same time, they give several cuts to the weak points of the demons, heavily injuring the demons. The demons whose joints have been broken all kneel down with a thud. Snow builds up strength and clenches his fist. He makes a simultaneous heavy punch at the 2 demons. The 2 finless demons are instantly flown out. Finally, let me simply and beautifully end the battle. Lu runs towards the demons, holds the dagger in her hand high. She stabs the demons several times with a few quick strokes. A set of actions are coherent and done in one go, and lands steadily. The finless demons that have been hit by Lu's overload treatment skill start to expand their bodus. Then with a bang, they explode and blood splatters everywhere. Well, this time I'm also perfectly and dazzlingly. Lu turns around satisfied and leaves. After ending a battle, the 4 people begin to take stock of the battlefield. Snow sighs that the task of dispelling the fog in the wild is much more difficult than during the assessment, and it takes so much time to complete a level A task. Todoro looks at the just exploded red core happily. Lu does not forget the responsibility of the team leader and encourages everyone. Well done, guys, we have got 10 points. An looks at the automatically destroyed completed task in his hand and can't help but admire that the current technology is really advanced. Nowadays, almost all of humanity's technological means are used to deal with the demons. The chips in the taskbar are connected to the points list in the town. After completing the task, the points list in the town will automatically settle. Having just completed the task of dispelling the fog in the wild, the 2 remaining tasks are respectively to capture 3 live finless demons, and to obtain 10 cores of the finless demons. Facing the remaining 2 level A tasks, Todoro is somewhat depressed. They spent the whole afternoon only to explode 3 demon cores, and there are still 7 that need to be completed. The task of capturing alive is even more difficult. Snow squeezes out a smile and says that other teams are also constantly earning points, so it seems that this period of time will not be so easy. Guys, let me talk about our task plan. Sidulu stands up and says, we need to complete the remaining 2 level A tasks, and then continue to take on the level A tasks and rush to the front in one breath. That's right, rush to the front in one breath, and don't let others look down on our team. Snow is inspired by Lu's plan. Todoro's eyes are filled with little stars, and she takes pictures of Lu crackling. Lu really is shining. An looks at his teammates and is happy again. You are right. Other teams are all working hard to earn points. If we don't act quickly, we won't be able to catch up. Only by being quick can we win. Just looking silly will get nothing. Really, I think my heart, which has already passed the half-century mark and experienced 2 lives, is covered with calluses. Unexpectedly, when being with them, I also somehow become younger. The 4 people are full of fighting spirit and set off for the next target. 2 hours later, the 4 people successfully catch 3 live finless demons alive. Todoro is excited to circle around the tightly bound demons and take pictures. At this time, the stun bombs used to catch the finless demons are just used up, and the special ammunition allocated to each group is still very limited. Looking at Aang's ignorant expression, Lu said helplessly, "It really needs to be explained again. This is the demon anesthetic gun, which is also synthesized nano, and like the dagger, it is a novice weapon set in the nano wing, but the synthesis and operation standards are more complicated." Aang squats down and looks at the sleeping demon on the ground and thinks, now the demons can be caught with anesthesia. In the past, they could only simply use brute force to knock the demons unconscious to achieve the capture, and the researchers always complained that they had broken the heads of some demons. It is already good to successfully catch live ones when the stun bombs are used up, Snow says, so this task is completed. In order to catch 3 live ones, we have killed this small demon group, which is more than 10. Todoro stretches lazily in the sunset and says, warriors must return to the town before sunset. This is a dead rule. Going back late will be punished. Let's go home for dinner. Home. Hearing Todoro say to go home for dinner, Aang remembers that he doesn't know if he has a home in this world. Well, I also have to go back to the dojo. Lu presses the locator in her hand and says, now as long as the location is sent to the researchers in the laboratory, they will come to recycle these 3 demons, and our task will be completed. By the way, do you feel a murderous aura? Aang suddenly feels something wrong. Before the words are finished, a bullet bangs and kills 3 birds with 1 stone, shooting through the heads of the 3 demons in a straight line. The demons that are just caught alive stop breathing instantly. I can't let you complete this task. At this moment, a voice sounds from behind the 4 people. You are the new team that takes all the level A tasks on the task board, aren't you? Those are the tasks we're going to take. Who allowed you to take them?